You're listening to the Bogota Boys, recorded at the No Limit Cafe, downtown Bogota, Tennessee. We hope you enjoy this episode. The Bogota Boys are sponsored by Cypress Creek Outdoors, Travis Ward Custom Calls, Maker's Call Company, Lane Dunning Custom Calls, Pine Bluff Sand and Gravel, Outer Limit Power Sports, Hurt Seed and Halls, Farm Credit Mid-America, Tyson Foods in New Bern, DeKalb Asgrow and Delta Pine, Berrien Surveying, Mud Lake Planning Company, Pete Kaiser Accounting Services, West Tennessee Crappie Fishing Guide Service, Chase Petty Outdoors, Universal Contractors, Ford Construction, Duck River Bird Taxidermy, Waterfowl Outfitters of West Tennessee, Wendell Alexander Realty, Hilliard Farms in Nauvoo, Tennessee, Nutrient Ag in Wimberg, and our very own Childress Farms.
Hello, listening world. This is the Bogota Boys podcast. I'm not sure what number it is, but it'll be on the YouTube channel and it'll be on Spotify and Apple. And if you're listening to this, you already know what number it is. So we're broadcasting from downtown Bogota, Tennessee at the No Limit Cafe, which is a 5-star restaurant by our own rankings. I'd like to introduce my co-host today. You got R.T. Fazell, you got White Beavers, you got my brother Wally, and then you got Bubba Ricky Osmond.
Ricky.
And we also got a special guest, Mr. Johnny Copeland, that we'll let him introduce himself here in a moment. But first, is there anything been going on, guys? How about you, Wyatt?
Nothing.
I believe it. How about you, RT?
A lot.
I
Don't believe it.
Maybe a lot of nothing. What's been going on? It's a lot. You finally having to work some?
Just a lot.
You been brushing some blinds?
Oh, yeah, that's been going on.
Yeah. All
You
right.
been working your dog?
So you been working your dog?
A lot. Something
A lot.
all day, every day.
He doing something all day, every day. I guess he barely gets any sleep. Been going on nothing but what, caffeine and.
I get my sleep.
He gets you sleep.
Well, now,
Look at him.
6
All
or
right.
7 hours.
All day to
60
RT is 7 to 5 or 7 to 4. It ain't like 7 to 12.
I
that's
thought it
not
was
true.
I thought it was 12 to 5.
As long as there's sunlight.
Sunlight.
All right. Well, Wyatt, nothing going on with you. How about you, Wally? Anything been going
Well,
on?
I had a buddy come stand in to watch this, see if he approved of it.
Well, what'd he say?
Well, he said he thinks it's beautiful. It's the most wonderful podcast he's ever seen.
I
Fabulous?
think he said it's great.
No, he never uses the word.
Hey, Melania.
He always
quiet back
uses
there.
fabulous.
Somebody give Melania a towel where she
They said it's
get the
huge.
sweat off of her.
Oh, well,
It's
good.
huge.
How's the harvest?
huge.
How's the harvest been going?
Oh,
Huge.
it's Mac. It's Mac.
Oh, you
Magnificent.
butchered that.
Oh, yeah.
The yields have been huge.
Huge.
Well,
Best yields we've
is
ever had.
your
No,
harvest
the crop's
coming along good?
good. We've actually run out of something to cut for the first time ever.
I can't ever remember that.
Ever.
And by cut, for our listeners that don't know, crops have to be matured before
Yeah.
you can harvest them.
Our pick and plant a lot of wheat. It's rolling along pretty good. If weather holds up another month, we'll be all right.
Well, good. Well, good. Weather has been holding up. Bubba, what about you?
Same old, just working a little bit,
Just working a little bit?
cooking a little bit.
Cooking a little bit.
You heard about Bubba, didn't you? He's going to sing a song in the Hee Haw opening of the second act.
What are you
Yeah.
what song you gonna sing, Bubba?
I'm not in on this
Is
at
it
all.
Somebody Save Me by Jelly Roll?
No.
Except Bubba's going to be Honey Bun.
Honey Bun. Well, anyway,
Yeah, I'm getting nominated.
you got nominated.
Yeah.
Well, good
Hey,
time.
he's good, too.
Bubba or Jelly Roll?
Magnificent. Wonderful. Bubba, You're a good man.
For those of
This
you,
is a good man right here.
Bubba is a good guy. For those of you that
Right,
don't
Donald?
know, Wally's trying to imitate Trump, and he's not really doing a very good job of it. But
I was waiting on him to look at me and say he.
But I am voting for Trump.
Tony, have you been
Don't
doing
have any
anything?
doubt about that.
You been doing anything, Tony?
Yes, I've been doing a lot of things. I have, and I've been very busy. Been very busy. Been very fortunate to be busy.
How's your dog food company doing?
I do not have a dog food company, but my dog food is making for my own dogs is going very well.
Do you need a
did
representative?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah. What, honey bun? You
Yeah, I'll market
represent
it for you.
No, it's not for sale. It's for my own dog's consumption.
Tell us what the dogs got to enjoy this week.
They're starving.
They're not. My dogs are not starving. I made a batch of food.
A batch.
I call it a batch. I make a batch every Saturday or Sunday. I made a batch this past Saturday. It's usually I got 4 dogs, and it's what I make is usually somewhere between 20 and 25 pounds, which is a lot of food for a dog. This week I used chicken gizzards.
Like roadkill?
No, chickens like you buy. You asked me a question, so let me describe it without any commentary.
Well, our listeners wants to know where you got the chicken
You're starting
from.
to sound like
I bought
Pamela.
I bought it at the grocery store, Kroger, I believe. And well, let's get specific. I bought one of them at Kroger and one of them at E.W. James. Chicken gizzards. I got the gizzards at E.W. James. No, I may have got them at Kroger. But anyway,
So that's all they have?
They finally got to eat meat.
pinto beans, lentils, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, rice, oats, salmon oil. You put in some vitamins, fortify it. I believe that's it.
You got a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah, it takes about an hour.
To drive the Kroger and then the drive.
Well, I
to,
mean, you're in Kroger. I don't say, hey, I need chicken, then I drive to Kroger and drive home and say, oh, I need garbanzo beans, and I drive to Kroger. And you in there shopping and you buy things.
So was these raw, uncooked?
No, I cooked them.
All right. After you prepared this gourmet meal,
It's food, but
and the dogs are just lapping it up because they're starved to death and they can't get away
they're
from
not
it.
starved to death. You got dogs, don't you?
Yes, sir.
25 pounds a week for 4 dogs and 3 of them are about 30, 35 pound dogs.
Do you want to feed your dogs
Johnny,
some garbanzo
How many
beans?
garbanzo beans have you fed your dog? Because I don't even know what a garbanzo bean is.
It's just a bean. It's a bean. It's a bean that has lots of protein in it.
Is it
Like
cost
lentils.
efficient?
Yes.
it?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I spend about $30 on it
For 25 pounds?
a week.
I hope PETA don't get a hold of this. You think they'll get him for abuse?
No. I mean they doing good. Coach look good. They look good. They got a lot of energy. They've slimmed down, but that's because I think a lot of the food that I was feeding them was food will make you swell not only by gaining weight, but some of it's got inflammatory purposes.
Yeah, that's what happened to my
Properties
food.
in it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
how's their digestive system?
Good. Better than it was. Better than it was.
Beans and gizzards.
And I know it sounds like it takes a lot. Oh, and I forgot sweet potatoes. It's got sweet potatoes in it. I know it sounds like it's a lot of work, but it's not. I mean, really, it takes me about 1 hour. Now, I cooked the chicken.
We didn't figure it was.
I cooked the chicken in a crock pot. Of course, I don't count that as time because you put it in a crock pot. It takes me about 1 minute to put chicken in a crock pot, plug it in, and then I leave.
Well, Johnny, you've learned something today.
Yeah.
How to slim your dogs up for under $30 a week. All right.
How many dogs you have?
I have 6.
6. It costs a lot to feed them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It costs me about $200 a month.
$200 a month.
So you go them garbanzo beans, and you're gonna have this lean, trim dogs.
Yeah.
The dog food's getting ridiculous high,
Yeah. I mean, I've checked it out and I've looked at it. It is cheaper for me to make it myself. Now, you got to catch stuff on, like,
Well,
sale.
quality dog food is super expensive.
Yeah. And I mean, and this is, it's chicken. It's chicken. I know what's in my dog's food.
I thought chicken wasn't the best thing to give dogs.
Well, you should not think.
That's not what veterinarian told me.
Well, you want anything meat based.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've always had better luck with chicken-based dog feed than beef.
Really?
Yeah.
If you look at,
I've seen lamb and fish.
Yeah, now fish is good stuff. But
I've
it's
seen a
higher.
lot of people complain about chicken making their dog itch and stuff.
Tony could start fishing in the river in the winter, run a few nets, and he could have some fish with that
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, it would be, I don't know what, I haven't made any with fish. I know you see about sea salmon, but I don't know if you can make it with catfish.
I bet
or
you can
things.
make it
Like,
with
I don't
them
know.
big
I bet you carp. Yeah, that's what I was going. When the backwater comes up again, just
Yeah, but I mean, they're bony, aren't they?
yeah. But you cook them long enough, it disintegrates. They're small bones.
Hey,
He's gonna cook them in a crock pot.
I'll do it.
I thought one time of making my own dog food, the meat base I was going to use was beaver.
Beaver, I think that would work. I had some duck, and it worked out really good.
Beaver, if you ate it, it's good eating. Like you can do it anything like barbecue. But I have when we trap beaver, the carcasses. I use them mainly in the wintertime to catch bobcats, coyotes off of. But I always thought about deboning the beaver to make dog food meat, but I've never done it. But I think it would be a
I
good.
tell you what, you get me a beaver, and I'll tell you how it turns out.
Let's introduce Johnny, and then let's talk about cooking a beaver.
All right. Well,
That will start.
this is our guest, Johnny Copeland, and I'll let Johnny introduce himself.
I'm glad to be here. Appreciate y'all inviting me to the podcast. I live at Cat Corner, Tennessee. Been in West Tennessee native my whole life. I used to go to school here in Bogota before it shut down. When did they shut down? It went to
99.
99.
I was 7th grade or 8th grade at Bogota. I can't remember. What was the?
Well, now they shut down the 7th and 8th grade first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Then they went to 6th grade. So that must have been in the earlier 90s when you were there.
Well, my uncle lived down here on 78. My dad, I'm sorry. And so that's where I was staying at down here. And I went to Bogota just for 1 year. And then Daddy moved back down to Findlay, Tennessee. And then I graduated 8th grade in Findlay.
That's why I always thought you were from the Junction or somewhere.
Yeah, I was practically raised up down that way.
Okay.
It's just that through those years, Mom and Dad split up, and Daddy moved to Bogota for a little bit. And then, Mama went to town. My heart's in the country. I couldn't move to town, so I stayed with Daddy so we could have the hunting dog.
Well, Bubba told us this earlier. He said that y'all started kindergarten together.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm assuming that was at Yorkville.
Big consolidated.
Oh, fifth. Now we're at fifth.
Yep.
Well, you were too small. I don't know. He might have been too young. But Bubba got to spend an extra year in kindergarten to tutor. And then y'all ended up back in the grades again.
Nah, that was first grade.
First grade.
Yeah, they held me back in first grade.
And you called him.
Yep.
So Bubba was your tutor.
I got
We're
held back
sorry,
a year.
Johnny.
Yeah.
I got held back a year. I was a little bitty thing.
That's what Bubba said.
You don't remember Bubba tutoring you?
No, I don't remember that.
Well, anyway, Johnny, you're here to tell us about coon hunting, but also you trap for a living, and I hope we can get into that. So does anyone have any particular questions about? Yeah, right, Wally.
I do. Y'all were talking about cooking beaver a while ago. Mm-hmm. What, Bubba, have you ever cooked a beaver?
I have not. I've never cooked a beaver.
Well, Donnie Jones, who traps also, he's 4 years old. He really got into trapping beaver and carrying them to a guy, and he said at every wild game supper, that's the first thing that goes.
I've always heard they're extremely good. Johnny's always talked about it, and another guy I know at traps.
So when we get down to another part of our thing, maybe we can have beaver that night.
Yeah,
And
Johnny,
some coon, both.
Johnny trapped me
We
one.
can figure out we can get one. Bubba can
get
figure
one.
out how to cook it.
Well, how we always cooked it was just like coon. We'd basically barbecue it.
Because we want him to cook some coon for that too. So that's just my question. So let's just go as we go.
Really?
I know people that's made burger meat out of beaver, make beaver sausage, basically anything you can deer.
Yeah, I had a guy that he made fajitas he loved it like that.
Hey, Johnny, beaver is it's a vegetarian, right?
That I know of, their diet consists of tree bark and grass.
Yeah. So I'd call that. So it's not a carnivore, so its meat should be good.
Oh, it's a very dark meat, but it's not as fatty as coon, in my opinion.
Is it oily?
No, that's what I mean. It's not when you cook it, it's not as oily as a coon. I don't think.
Does it get stringy like a coon when you cook it, Johnny? You know how like a coon's kind of got that texture?
Some,
But not
a
as
little bit,
bad.
but not as much. Yeah, and in beaver, on into the winter, they're real fatty animals. It takes a sharp knife to skin them.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, aren't you? You're part of a hunt that's coming up. That's going to, I guess, the beginning location is going to be here at the No Limit Cafe in Bogota, Tennessee. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that hunt?
Well, I'll start with what made me want to come up with the hunt was, I've been thinking about it for several years actually, but just didn't know really how to push it or get it going. And then one time scrolling on Facebook, I seen where a wildlife officer, TWRA in Wayne County, she has one, Bethany Watson, I believe was her name. And they had several kids show up, and it gave me the idea. I'm like, man, why can't we do something like that here, in Dyer County
Now, the hunt is for what?
for the youth?
Okay, and you're hunting coons?
Yes, sir.
It's a youth coon hunt.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what date is that going to be?
That's going to be on November the 15th on a Friday, 5 o'clock here at No Limit Cafe.
Okay, and who can come?
Well, as far as youth, we're doing ages 6 through 16, but we're not going to turn any kid down, no matter who wants to come and go coon hunting. 6 through 16 is the
Well, if
youth
you had a
number.
57-year-old kid that's really never been in an official coon hunt, but they kind of wanted to come and tag along,
More than welcome.
What would I need to bring?
I would bring light for sure, and maybe a good pair of rubber boots.
Okay, now what kind of clothing would I need to wear?
Well, November 15th, I'm sure, we never know about here in
It's
Tennessee.
chilly.
The weather does its own thing here, so.
I say at least bring a hoodie for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Wear a
Hoodie and
over
jeans.
jacket.
So I mean, if
Yeah.
you got some, youth out there, juvenile out there that's wanting to come, a lot of those kids wear sweatpants. So
Yeah.
you're talking about the types of clothes need to wear, be at least blue jeans.
Yeah, just play the weather that, just bring some, like Bubba said, a hoodie, maybe a light jacket. I doubt November 15th it'd be super cold by then.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't
you
need-
could wear
do-
sweatpants.
Doesn't need to be camouflage, does it?
No, you can wear blaze orange or hot pink if you want to go coon hunt.
And rubber boots, they don't have to be chest waders. Or
No,
whip boots, just a pair of,
pair of knee boots or
yeah.
None of it has to be camouflage.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Hey, and if the kids are younger than 6, they're probably gonna do them by age group and what they want to do, and we'll work it where we can bring them. You don't have to stay the whole time if you don't want to. Some of them will be worked where it'll be multiple can in, especially where I go, in case I get sleepy. But we can bring kids out, or if the mamas bring them, we'll take care of you.
I'm sure we're gonna have parents that's gonna want to go with the kids. And
Yeah.
How's the setup going to be? Like as far as getting,
well,
you're going to have people volunteering to help and
me and Bubba both been talking to a lot of local coon hunters around here. Some even Ripley, Gibson, but a lot of the local coon clubs, they all know about it. We've got a lot of volunteers that's going to come and bring hounds. We're probably not. We don't at this point right now. We don't know how much youth is going to show up. But if we do end up having more hounds than we have kids, then they're more than welcome to stay and fellowship, eat with us, and they can just go off and go coon hunting themselves or tag along however they want to do it. But we're gonna wait and see how many youth gets here. And like Wally said, me and Josh, we talked the other day. We had a meeting, me, Bubba, and Josh, and we're gonna probably split them up in age groups and just see how much youth we have and then how many hounds we'll need, because you can 3 or 4 kids per party. You can take several kids with one dog or however.
There's also going to be some good giveaways that night. We already know that the NWTF chapter's going to give away some stuff. So if you're a kid and you see this and you're interested, come.
Well, this is a question that just popped in my mind, and I don't know why. Do these people that come to hunt, that at least tag along, do they have to have a hunting license?
I don't. I'm not 100% on that. I think. Well, I have been told by the game warden here. I don't remember if it was Bradley Harris but as long as you're not carrying the firearm, you don't have to have a hunting license.
Okay. Well, maybe.
You're allowed to spectate. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to agree with you because you're not harvesting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think coon hunting is what they call a spectator sport. You don't, long as you're not handling a rifle, you don't have to have a license.
Well, this one's going to be a spectator sport. So
Well, maybe we need to at least inform our listeners about this, and maybe we can check with somebody that. Not that I'm doubting you.
Right.
I don't, because I don't know. It just popped in my mind.
I'm pretty sure the TWA, besides Josh is going to be here, he's the TWA wildlife manager, correct, Wally? I think Chase Taylor's going to be here and Bradley Harris. They're going to do a safety speech with the youth about the regulations and stuff before we get started.
Now, who's knocking the coons out?
It would be the hunters, the guide,
The party leader, the guide, the
the
judge,
guy's
whatever.
got the hound. Yeah, they're going to handle the rifle at all times, not
Okay.
the youth. Now, I'm fine with a youth at a certain age, I guess, that's with me that can handle a rifle. If the parents are fine with it, I'll let the youth shoot a raccoon as well.
but they will not be toting a gun at all.
No.
Sometimes they
no,
will.
you-
They'll be completely supervised for
Right.
10 seconds.
That's the thing. Leave your guns at home if
So,
you're coming.
so when you go coon hunting, I guess the party, well, they typically carry one firearm.
Yeah, normally
Yeah.
you carry one rifle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
And,
that-
and in this hunt, there's going to be one firearm per party, and that will be
Yeah.
in the hands of the, I guess, the adult who's leading the party.
Yeah, whoever,
guide.
the guy to have the rifle, yeah. It'd just be like if you had a hound and you came and volunteered to take some youth, you would take them to a spot to let them, introduce the youth to coon hunting if they've never been, and and then when the hound gets the coon treed, y'all go in there, look for the coon, and if you're the guide, you would shoot it out.
See, I mean, I'm going to tag along.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited too because I'm kind of like a kid. I've been coon hunting,
Well, I mean, I understand that because
but not.
I've never been turkey hunting, and I think I would really enjoy that. So,
So how
Especially if you went with RT.
how does this work? I mean, coon hunting. Do you go and you release the dogs and then you just sit there?
Well, there's different
yeah.
kinds too. You know, you got to think about what we call pleasure hunting, or if you're in a competition. So, but it's basic. Turn the dog loose and let them work.
Yeah, but what do you do? What
You
do I
wait.
do?
Well, you follow along,
Yeah.
stay up on them.
Look at a Garmin collar.
Yeah, you want to stay within distance of them. Yeah. But like when I was a kid hunting, we sit around the tailgate and shoot the
Yep.
bull, and then when they get treed, we go to them. Nowadays, a lot of people stay up on them a little bit. If they're 100 yards, they move 100 yards, you move 50. But a lot of times a dog will change direction, so you don't want to do too much of that, or you walk yourself to death.
So, how do you, as a hunter, know that the dog has a coon in a tree?
Well, you find it. They don't always, and that's not good.
Are you saying, like, how do you know that he's
He's
treed and
treed.
done?
Yeah.
You can hear it. It's a constant chop.
His mouth changes.
Yeah.
So when they're when coon dogs are out doing their hunt, if they get on a coon trail,
They strike.
They strike.
when they do a strike, okay, are they always barking?
No, not some dogs. Like I have a dog that's tight mouthed, but they don't bark on track. He only barks when he's treed. It's just in his blood. That comes from that type of bloodline. But majority of your hounds, when they find a coon scent, they bark, which they call strike or struck a track. And hounds have different voices. Some are chop on track. Some are ball mouth on track. Ball mouth would be just like, oh, and chop would be just, oh, oh, oh. And it's just chopping, however that dog chases that scent, that's what they're trailing, they call it. Mm-hmm. So, and when they tree, it's bred to a dog when he has to check that tree. When the scent goes up the tree, they do a locate. And you'll know this because the dog's voice changes over. It's like when they throw their head back and open that mouth, it's just like, say the dog's a ball mouth on track and he's, oh, on the ground. But when he smells that, where the coon went up that tree and he locates, he'll go, oh, not all dogs the same, but a houndsman knows that. Bubba knows a houndsman knows that locate.
It's coming.
So
And then most dogs, if they're not a straight ball mouth tree dog, they'll locate with a ball, but then they'll settle with a chop. Settle means staying at the tree. So they're letting you know, hey, I'm looking up this tree. He's went up right here, and then when they stay, it's oh.
So you tell by the dog's bark what
Yes, sir.
that dog is doing.
Knowing your dog.
Yeah, knowing your dog.
And that dog is staying in the same spot. Now, talking back before all the technology we got with coon hunting nowadays with Garmin trackers and all that, when like me and Bubba grew up hunting, we didn't have all that. You just knew your dog, and you went, your ears was how you knew your dog. And but when that dog is treed his quarry, he's staying in one spot, and he's treed. So you go in there, and then you look for the coon in the tree and reward the dog.
How do you reward the dog?
Well, this time of year, early season, leaf zone, I use a red amber, and that coon will look at that red a lot of times. So when you just have two orange eyes looking at you, and to this day, I've been coon hunting all my life, and to this day, that feeling never gets old. When you go to a treed hound, and those leaves are on the tree, and you start squalling, like making a raccoon, trying to get that coon. When you see those two orange eyes look at you, it's just, to me, like a 12-point buck walking in. I get excited every time I see those eyes, and if somebody's with me, it's just, here he is, you get excited, I've been doing it ever since I was little. That feeling never gets old. So when you see those eyes, you aim for the eyes. And
yeah, but how do you I'm kind of getting excited listening to you tell, but how do you reward a dog? You shoot the coon and it hits the ground?
Put fur in their mouth.
You put fur in their mouth, yeah. And then me personally, everybody's different. When my dog trees a coon, I try to do a quick kill shot. I mean, I aim for the head. I don't shoot them in the butt. A lot of guys will, everybody's different, like I said. Some people will shoot them in the foot or the butt, and they want the coon to come down the tree and fight the dog, and it's just a big fight going on. And me, I just like to shoot them out dead or in a hammer when they hit the ground. They'll sound like a sack of potatoes falling out of a tree. And anyway, just let them get their mouth on it, and I pet them up, dead, good boy, and I put it in my game coat and send him on and get another one.
So some people, houndsmen, they like to reward their dog by killing the coon and let
them fight.
And some people like to wound the coon to make it come down so it'll fight the dog.
Yeah, most time people do that with a puppy. They got a young dog getting started, trees a coon. They want to see that dog get a good fight in, let it earn its stripes, I guess you could say.
Would the dogs always win?
No.
Okay.
I mean, a coon
Especially
can
around
drown
water.
a dog in the water.
Yeah, it'll kill a dog in the water.
A coon is like a little mini grizzly bear when it's cornered.
Yeah. If I was ever a coon dog and I struck a coon in a tree, I think I'd want my owner to shoot it dead. I don't think I want to fight no baby.
Tony's not a fighter.
Yeah.
No, I said I'd fight it. But
He's
I
a
wouldn't
vegetarian.
Want to. I'm more of a lover instead of a
Hey,
fighter.
Johnny, if Tony was a coon dog, he'd be a leopard hound.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one hound of all the breeds I've never owned. Is
Yeah, me neither. They're pretty.
They
though.
must be rare and unique. If
They are, Tony.
They are unique.
They are.
Well, I mean, I did what it is. Well, I've been asking him all the questions. Why? Do you know a little bit about coon hunting?
Yeah, I know a little bit about coon hunting. You said now that the technologies came to where it is today.
Yeah.
I know that what were they called? The little square boxes. You fold the antenna out, and it's
The beep beeps, what
beep
we always
beeps,
call them.
beep beep beep
Yeah.
beep beep beep, and it shows you the direction. That's old school there.
Yeah.
Then Garmin came out.
I still carry a compass. I still have my same old school compass my daddy gave me years ago, and I've got a habit of, like with the Garmin, you can mark the truck, and that Garmin tracks you everywhere you go, and you know exactly where your dog is at all times. It'll say Banjo's 200 yards northeast, and then you can go to a map screen. It shows 3D imagery or Google imaging of the bottom you're in or wherever you're at, and it just shows you everywhere you go. You can zoom out and say, well, there's a road up here. My dog's going to a road, and you can measure the distance from where you're at to where that dog is, or from where the dog is to the road, and you'll know, well, I can go to the truck and drive around quicker than I can walk all the way to the dog. So these Garmins have really saved me a lot of time and a lot of steps, yeah. But you get, just like these phones, you get so used to having them. Like nowadays, I don't care if it's a fence row or a thicket that I know every stump in it. I will not cut a dog loose without a Garmin collar on it at all.
So you got 6 dogs.
Yes, sir. I got 5 coon hounds and a squirrel dog.
Okay. Now, when you go coon hunting, do you take all 5 of
Oh
them?
no! I'd still be out there right now. I usually hunt 1 a night, sometimes 2 a night.
Okay.
And right now 2 of my dogs are old dogs. They're both 10 years old, and I don't hunt them near as much right now. So I'm mainly just hunting the younger dogs, splitting them up.
Do they get jealous when you go and pick one?
Yeah, they know when as soon as the sun starts sinking, they start getting excited in the backyard, and especially when they see me walking to the kennel, they even get more fired up. And then when you get one out of the pen to go to the truck and they see that they're not getting out of the pen, they even more excited.
They get mad at you.
Oh yeah.
So you hunt one, maybe two, and that's a lot.
Yeah. That's two. Me by myself, 2 dogs, all I want to handle. Just like I went last night and had 2 dogs, and one was treed so many 100 yards this way, one was treed back the opposite way. So I had to go to one, then go to the other.
Well, see, that was my next question. When they hunt, do they hunt together as a pack, but apparently not always?
Like, it goes back to all dogs are different. A lot of times, it's like this little female I'm hunting, this young dog. So last night she packed a little bit, and then she was getting off to herself. So I think it depends on how hot the track is or whatever. Or, this one dog could be on a colder track, and this young dog, she can't smell it as good. She may venture off and get on a hotter track and then go her own way, And that's what she did last night. But
They both tree one?
yes, sir. Yep.
Now,
So, Johnny, tell them what kind of dogs you hunt.
Black and tan coonhounds.
Tell them about some of the success you've had.
Well, we'll go back to, I guess, competition hunting. Let's see. I'll start off by, I first got into coon hunting years ago. I had walker hounds, tree and walker hounds. Never thought nothing about a competition hunt. We was just pleasure hunters. We just liked to go coon hunting, kill coons. Around 2009, I got my first black and tan hound. My walkers eventually died out old age. They was just grade meat dogs. They didn't have no papers, nothing like that. They was coon dogs, and Bubba vouched for that. I had my first coon dog was old Barney. Got him from Bubba's granddaddy.
Yep.
And anyway, he made a crackerjack hound. Before he got old, we bred him to some hunting buddies of ours in Dyersburg. They was same as us, just pleasure hunters. They had some grade females. We bred Barney and Sally, and that's how I got Banjo. Banjo turned out to be a real nice hound. So I was kind of keeping this bloodline going, And as Banjo got older, I had a hunting buddy in Dyersburg. He had a grade walker female, it's a pretty decent dog. We bred them together, and that's where I got Boone. Well, time Boone got up in age is when I got Ryder, my first black and tan, which was in 2009. I got him from Chad Smith. Chad Smith and Corey Jeffries have raised black and tans that I know of around here for years, and they always keep good bloodlines, things like that. So I got a pup out of a litter they had. So I basically got him started and trained him off my old walker dog, Boone. Well, I was wanting to get a pup out of Boone and keep that walker bloodline going. And by that time, I couldn't find nobody, because Boone didn't have no papers. Like I said, he was just an old grade dog. Nobody would want to breed their female to him because he didn't have papers. And I was like, look, we'll put him in the woods. I'll show you what this dog can do. And, papers is a lot nowadays on dogs and stuff. So I never could find a female to breed him to. He ended up dying of old age. So there was Ryder, my male black and tan. So from 2009 to now, I've kept a bloodline of black and tans. And so, I mean, I'll try to make this as short as I can as far, because it's.
Well, that's all right.
I'm just going to talk about the dogs. But so my daddy, like I said, he got in bad health, got better. He kept coon hunting with me, and Daddy always liked plot hounds, which is a breed of coon hound, a plot hound. And at the time, Corey and Chad had a black and tan female named Lola. She's only like a year and a half old. They had so many dogs, they just couldn't hunt them all. And I told Daddy, I said, well, I got a friend that's got a black and tan female he's wanting to sell. And he's like, well, let's go check her out. And we went out there and got her out of, I couldn't remember if it's Corey or Chad's kennel. And me and Daddy took her here in the bottoms here close to Bogota. And she ain't been hunted in like several months. She'd been laid up. And this was probably late February, which is when coons are hard to find on the outside of a tree. She treed, I'll never forget that night, she treed 5 times. This dog has been laid up for like a year, several months to a year. She treed 5 times. We seen 2 single coons off of her, 2 dens, and 1 slick tree. And what I mean by a slick tree, the ones that don't know, is when a dog trees, no leaves are on the tree in February, you cannot find a coon, you can't find the coon nowhere in the tree, and you don't see a den where it can hide. It's just a blank tree, so that's what we call a slick tree in coon hunting terms. But anyway, she looked really good to be laid up that long, and so my dad bought her. So Daddy just pleasure hunter. He was just a pleasure hunter. I started getting into competition hunting with my rider male and started winning some with him just here at the local events, nothing major hunts. But there's a lot of good dogs that get titled just around here locally that never go up in the big events and stuff. There was a black and tan sectional down in, I can't remember if it's, I think Coldwater, Mississippi.
Coldwater, because I actually went with you.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Well, memory lane now. Yeah, so I was going to take Ryder that night, and I called my daddy, and he said, what you do? You going tonight? And I said, yeah, Dad, I'm going to a hunt down in Mississippi. He said, why don't you carry old Lola, see what she'll do? And I done got a win or so on Ryder, so I was trying to make him night champion. And he just kept on, you take old Lola. And I said, all right. So I took her down there. Never put her in a competition hunt before. And long story short, I ended up winning with her. And she beat. So then, Bubba can help me here. Then when you competed, you had to come back with the overall high score of all the dogs to get a win. And once you got so many wins, you become a night champion. Mm-hmm. And so I come back with her score, and she beat all the dogs, the winning dogs
over every cast.
Yeah.
He was the hunt winner.
Yeah, she was the overall hunt winner. So I got a first place win with her, and to be night champion, you had to have a first place win. So you had to have, what was it, Bubba, 5 wins to be a night champion?
And back then you had to have the first place.
You had to have
now
a
you
first
don't
place.
no more.
So you could have a first place and 4 second places or 4 third places to become night champion, but you had to have that first place. But anyway, so she looked really good that night. I remember she treed 4 single coons by herself, and got back to the club. A smile from ear to ear, and just it feels good to win when you go on a hunt, no matter if it's local or big. And this wasn't a really big hunt, but it was a lot of good dogs there that night. A lot of good dogs that I hunted against. And seen some good dog work out of our cast. It's just that my little female just showed out. I mean, she just stayed to herself and had her own coon. So I had the overall hunt score and ended up being crowned queen of hunt with her. Got a trophy with her in her first place win. Well, that was in March, wasn't it, Bubba?
Because it was probably March or late February or something right there.
So in the competition world, the world hunt is the biggest hunt anybody could ever want to achieve. But for a black and tan man like me and any listeners that's black and tan man, I'll tell you this, the UKC Black and Tan Days is like winning a world hunt to me. Because that's where all the black and tans come and compete. Yeah. And so I won that with Lola and Archie Butler at Coldwater, and I think it was March. Then that following May, Black and Tan Days was up in Flora, Illinois. And that's about what, Bubba, 3 hours?
Yeah, a little over 3 hours.
Flora is rolling hill country, corn country, a lot of creeks, coons, heavy coon population. And so this is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday night event, 3-night event. And so I went up there with her. Since I did real good in Mississippi, I took her up there. So anyway, I won. You gotta be a double cast winner. So you gotta be. Is it Thursday and Friday, or just as long as it's 2 nights, right?
Yeah, you need 2 nights. Yeah.
So you gotta win 2 nights to be qualified for king or queen of the hunt. And queen of the hunt is overall high scoring female, no matter if you're a night champion, a registered, or a grand night, whatever. King of hunt the same. So I didn't get in with her Thursday night. I had a good hunt. I just didn't win my cast. But then I had a high score with her Friday night, and then I won my cast with her on Saturday night. And I remember my daddy was with me the whole time, hunting with me and stuff. And when we come back, when I had that Saturday night win, like the deadline was 4 a.m. I remember me and Daddy pulled up at the fairgrounds there where they was having the event. And we was half sleeping in the truck. It was pouring down rain, and I kept going in there and see if they put the scores up on the head of this big dry erase board. And I was trying to see if I got in or not and all that. So we was just tired. We went back to the hotel. I didn't get much sleep that night. I got up that next morning. I went up there and seen that I'd topped it off with her. Like I was queen of hunt with her, and I just couldn't believe it. And so I won a nice dog box that I still got to this day. I couldn't tell you how much stuff. I won a coon light, a brand new coon light, dog leashes, several bags of dog feed, just all these prizes. So I got my picture taken, was able to get in the magazine, and my head's this big around.
That is awesome.
So I have, so if So I've won Black and Tan Days with a dog, and that was in 2013. And I've got pictures blowed up in my home of us with her up there on top of the dog box with all the trophies were behind us. So Corey and Chad was up there. They was competing as well. And, we're all local around here. They had to help me haul my stuff back with me. I couldn't have hauled it
And
back.
they sold you the dog.
Yeah, well, they sold Daddy the dog.
They sold your daddy that.
And then Daddy ended up giving her to me. And I was like, no, I'm going to buy her. He's like, no, you're not. But anyway, I got 13 years out of old Lola girl. She finally passed of old age. But
did you get any litters out of her?
yeah, the two old dogs I got now that's 10 years old, I got a brother and sister still in my kennel from her.
And then you're hunting a grandpup to her, right?
Right. Yeah.
One of your young dogs is out of her daughter.
I've got 2 grandpups out of her.
Are they as good as Lola?
They're still real young. They got some.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I named my female Lola Joe.
Lola
She's named after her grandmama, and I told her she had some big shoes to fill, and she looked really good last night. And so I think it's just gonna take time. She's gonna get there.
Do you still competition hunt?
No, Wally. So that was in 2013. I went back in 2014 with her, and I almost got a double. I almost did it again with her. I come real close. 2015, she caught heartworms, but I was able to get that treated and get her back to hunting shape before the hunt. Just didn't have as much luck up there. Those heartworms really changed her. She wasn't really 100%, but she was still a coon dog. And but work got me out of competition hunting, and just down to it, I'm just an old pleasure hunter. I mean, I like competition hunting, but I mean, I'm so honest. I just don't enjoy it like I used to.
Yeah.
But
It's a different world.
Is it still real political?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's very competitive.
very competitive, and some say that's what's keeping coon hunting alive nowadays, the competition hunting. I kind of believe that in a way, but there's guys now winning $1 million coon hunting.
Yeah.
Winning
Crazy.
trucks. They have truck hunts all the time, side by side hunts. And
Yeah, it's a lot in it now. It's not like it used to be. Used to you'd go to, like I did a hunt last night. I went to one. We literally had 9 dogs. When I was a little kid, there'd be 40 to 50 dogs at that same hunt, and even as we were teenagers, you would have in the 20s. So I mean, it's changing.
Yeah, I can remember Wally and I's uncle was a game warden, and I remember him talking to me about coon hunters, and it seemed like from when he started being a game warden in the 40s, 50s, coon hunting was the thing. And then a lot of people squirrel hunted too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just seemed like they were all over the place. Now, you don't really, to me, I know 2 coon hunters, you and Bubba, but I don't know that I know 3. So
if you know them like I do, there's several out there around our area.
Yeah, but I think, like we was talking, like used to in Bogota when y'all was kids, there's 7, 8, 10 people in Bogota that coon hunted.
oh yeah,
Now Johnny's the closest one.
yeah.
I was a kid in the early 90s, and I remember when we'd hunt down here on state ground in the bottoms, you'd have to just stop, cut your truck off to see if you hear a dog, because everybody was coon hunting then. There was, you could go down around Kane, Moss Island, any of those WMAs. There was always trucks with dog boxes there, and then we never did like to turn out on top of somebody, so we'd have to go to the next one or somewhere down. But there's not near as many cooners as it used to be,
Which is the reason, like this youth hunt is so important to me.
Right.
Hopefully it introduces more people
Right.
into it.
It seems to me that there are coons everywhere.
Yeah, there is a good
This
crop
year
of
the
coons this
population
year.
is
Yeah.
pretty good, I would say, from what I've seen.
That's why we've got Donald here to make coon hunting great again.
Right.
There you go.
They put a coonskin hat on.
There you go.
Now, is the youth
Donald
hunt, is there
Boone.
going to be any kind of competition to that? Like,
No.
No.
it's just
Well, as the Bogota boys, which we're not part of this, we're going to make a little competition. We're going to have the biggest coon, the littlest raccoon. And then if there is a group, if a group like has 5 kids and they have the biggest, just in case another one, we'll have to draw between them to who gets the prize.
That's fine.
It might be a 2-person meal at the No Limit or something, but there'll
But
be
I-
some kind of prize.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that way they'll come back maybe, and it's pretty fun. We've done it with the youth and the duck hunt, and
big duck,
just
little
see
duck.
them smiles worth a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Bring it in like the little boy had that one I filmed. He handed it to him, and he's grinning.
I think that
and
should
he
be
wins.
a rule that the kid has to tote the coon in here to weigh it to be eligible for a prize.
Hey, how many breeds of coon dogs are there?
There is 7 breeds. I'm sitting down on the. You got the American Blue Tick, you got the English, and you got the Tree and Walker, got the Black and Tan, the Red Bone, Leopard, and Plot. So there's seven breeds.
7 breeds.
Which is best?
Black and Tan.
Oh, okay.
How about the non-trend walkers? Let's think.
Don't some people
there's-
run cur dogs?
Yeah, somewhere. Like my squirrel dog, she'll treat coons at night.
Yeah.
Squirrels during the daytime. She'll treat daytime coons. She'll treat daytime possums at night. She's just a meat dog.
Yeah, but them 7 are what they call UKC
Yeah,
recognized breeds.
Right.
That's what they are.
Gotcha.
So any dog could be, I guess, a coon dog if you train it, but there's 7 breeds that
Right.
it's just in them.
And,
And
there's
there's-
some crossbreeding going on
Yeah,
there.
that's what they call bred now. There's crossbreeding people do. But there's good and bad in all breeds. It's just Black and Tans is my preference breed.
Now, what are some hazards to coon hunting? Poison oak?
Well, I guess if you're allergic to poison oak, if you're
Snake
scared
bite.
of snakes.
Yeah.
No, but in November, snakes don't not be bad.
No.
I don't even know when coon season starts. When does it start?
There's more hazards for the
All the
dog
time.
than there is the hunter.
Year round.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
all the time.
Well,
It's more hazard to your dog.
here in Tennessee, July 1st is when private ground season opens.
July 1st.
July 1st, and that will go private ground only until statewide opens, which is always the 3rd Friday of September. Then that's when the wildlife management areas open. I think we are allowed 4 per person a night.
When's it close?
It goes all the way to March the 15th. So it's closed April, May, June, opens back up July.
Yeah, so you really only have 3 months that it's completely closed.
You can still hunt. You just can't knock them out.
And, and you can train or run dogs year round. It's just that you're not allowed to take them.
Harvest.
You can't harvest a coon.
Can't
And harvest
yeah.
them.
I
till
can't
July
imagine
1st.
going out in the bottoms at night in July.
Oh,
That's
it's-
probably why I'm not a coon hunter. Well, it's probably a lot of reasons.
One of the greatest things to me is roasting deer season when that corn starts swarming in a field and
Yeah.
it's full of coons and it's just
It's always fun if you can find some mulberries that time of year because coons love mulberries. If you can find the mulberries on the edge of a cornfield, I mean, you got them.
You got them.
You like mulberries, Tony?
I don't
Hey, you
know.
could put that in your
I
dog
know-
food.
Oh, wait, Holmes. I know some mulberries, and I like them. They're nice people.
But when we was talking about the youth hunt, and one reason,
There's a family called, for those of you that didn't get, there's a family where their last names are mulberries.
Duh.
He asked me, I like mulberries. It was above your head. I understand why, but
Sorry for him interrupting you,
No,
Johnny.
it's good.
Back to you, Johnny.
I was saying what I forgot to say about the youth hunt is that's like Bubba mentioned. That's one reason why I wanted to get this going because what gave me the idea. Well, I've thought about it. Then I seen where a lady in Wayne County, Tennessee, has been having one, and I was saying, well, if they can do that there, I wonder why we can't do it here. Because here we've always had the juvenile deer hunts, the turkey hunts, duck hunts,
dove hunts.
dove hunts. You don't never hear about a youth coon hunt. So
No.
that's why I want to get the TWRA involved because, they have a big outreach to be able to get it out there. And then the NWTF end up getting involved. And so, Josh Emerson, the TWRA wildlife manager, he's also a coon hunter. So having that, he understands coon hunters. So, I talked to him first and said, what do you think? He said, yeah, I'm all for it and this and that. And then Wally being the state commissioner, I talked to Wally about it. And so I really thank Wally and Josh for helping me get this going.
and I don't want to go down a pig path, but I'm going to ask, has Wally told you about his quail trophy? Because if he hadn't, he will.
Try to hear Johnny. In case
Now,
you'd like to view it.
He'll tell you about it later. I got how long, you go coon hunting, you leave when the sun goes down, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, how long's your typical hunt?
Everybody's different. It varies. Now me, like on a work night, I try to get in the woods right at dark, hunt a couple hours, and I come home. Like, Friday or Saturday night, I may stay out to daylight if I want to. 'Cause
Well, this coon hunt that with the youth, what is the end time?
We kind of talked about that the other day, and we're trying to get them back here, but what
10:30, 11 the
at
latest.
the latest.
Yeah.
But it's on a Friday night.
Right. That way that gives them time to get home and they're not out too late. And hopefully everybody's going to be hunting real close, so that should be easy to do.
And if you go with us, you can come out at any time, believe me.
Now,
We'll make sure you can get out if you're...
Is that too late for you, Tony?
It very well could be.
I mean, he's got to feed his dogs, make his dog food.
Hey, let me tell you, he's gonna make some dog food.
Are you out of questions yet, Tony? I got a couple when you get done.
I think I would trust Johnny's dog food more.
I would too. I mean, RT, you can ask it any time.
Okay.
But right now, I got another question.
Yeah, I figured.
How big is the biggest coon you ever killed?
Biggest coon I've ever killed was 25.5 pounds.
Is that? I mean, is that?
That's
That's very large.
Man, that's a turkey.
What's a
size.
typical?
Average around here is probably 13
Okay.
to, if you kill a 17, 18 pound
That's a
coon
big
here,
coon.
that's a big coon.
Yeah.
Well, where did you kill the 25.5 pound coon?
Weiss Lake Refuge.
Okay, so it was here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Or different. Or now you've hunted. It appears Mississippi, up in Illinois.
Well, when I competition on it all over Kentucky, mostly right here in the South. But I did Black and Tan Days one year, moved all the way up into northwestern Ohio. So from Thursday to Saturday, from that span, I hunted in northwestern Ohio, I hunted in Michigan and Indiana, all in one.
Now, are there
3 nights.
coons? I know they're deer. The body of the deer up there are bigger.
Coons are a lot bigger up there.
They are.
Oh yeah.
And in certain areas, you want to talk about a coon population. It's
Wonder why is
Crazy.
that?
I think, fur up north is always better than southern fur because their winters get colder.
Yeah.
The animals are naturally, I think, bigger, fatter. Fur's more value, or in the fur market anyway. But they're just bigger up that way. And I could move up north just to coon hunt. I mean, it's,
Well,
Johnny,
take-
you do know Bubba had a 25 to 30 pound chicken one time. I'm just wondering if he loaned you his scale.
we,
Now,
We
just-
actually believe you, Johnny.
I mean, I
we
think-
do not believe Bubba.
Just because Bubba called that turkey a chicken doesn't mean it was a chicken.
I'm telling you, that was a big chicken.
I think RT's got some questions.
Okay.
Is coon hunting all you do, Johnny, or what other
as far as hunting,
outdoors? Yeah.
coon hunting's my main thing because if I've got young dogs that train during the summer, I hunt year round. But I love to turkey hunt. I deer hunt. I used to duck hunt. I haven't been duck hunting in about 2 years. But I used to be crazy about duck hunting. But it's hard to do it all. I used to come in from work when I worked a second shift at a factory, and I'd always like, man, do I want to go to bed and go duck hunting in the morning, or I want to go coon hunting? And sometimes I'd go coon hunting, lay out, sleep in, time to go to work, and wish that I went duck hunting when I had a bad coon hunt. And then the other way around, if I went to bed when I got off work and went duck hunting, had a bad, a good cold starry night, I let my hounds stay in the pen. I fought that for years. But
I got a question, Johnny. Do you eat suckers while you turkey hunt?
no.
We'll tell you off air about that. Now, you mentioned work. What do you do for a living?
I'm a wildlife control operator.
Okay.
So,
And what does that mean?
well, it's just the term of what we do. Some people say a professional trapper or whatever, but I work for Seavers, Beavers, and More Nuisance Wildlife Management outside of Water Valley, Kentucky, which is about an hour from here. He has me servicing northwestern Tennessee for him. I've been with him going on about 5 years, close to 5 years. Awesome. Him and his wife's very awesome to work for. They treat me real well. But anyway, we just do, if you hear something in your attic, you hear something in your crawl space, any type of nuisance wildlife problem you're having, you call us. We come out, do an inspection, figure out what type of wildlife is in your attic or in your crawl space, and then we offer trapping services. We do repairs, wildlife prevention to your home, and we do sanitation. We do fecal cleanup, attic insulation removal. We do industrial, commercial.
What got you into that line of work?
When I started trapping as a kid, I've trapped, fur trapped, and that was another hobby, RT, that I used to like to do all the time during the winters, just fur trap. But now when you do it every day, it's kind of, you want to find something else to do, It becomes work is what I'm saying. But growing up fur trapping, I've always loved to trap and stuff. And, raising up in the country and stuff, you get to know farmers, hanging out at the old country stores, and somebody say, hey, you trap, I got a beaver problem. And so I would wait during the winter and trap beaver for the farmers and stuff. And then it got to where they was calling me during the summer when beaver pelts are not worth anything. So I used to go and because beaver trapping's open year round in Tennessee. So I would just go out there in the summertime and I would trap beaver for hunting rights. They'd buy my lunch, gas, and then you know, so far down the road that, you know, hunting rights don't pay the bills. And then it just got where I didn't really have time to do it as much. So Mike Seaver's the guy I work for. I've been friends with him a long time. He was telling me, he's like, well, what you need to do is apply for your animal damage control permit, which is what they call an ADC permit. You got to have, once you get approved by the state to get that, you got to have liability insurance. And once you get that, then you're allowed to do it, you know, charge to do it for a living or whatever. So that's what I did, and then started, you know, charging for it. So I was doing that as a side business. And I mainly only wanted to do predators and beaver. I wasn't into the residential, you know, raccoons, squirrels, and stuff in attics at first. I just mainly did beaver removal for farmers and landowners. And then I found out that, you know, there's a lot more money that I was leaving out on the table not doing the residential stuff, because there is more wildlife in town than in the country. And so I started doing a little advertising. Word of mouth helped me the best, you know. And next thing I know, I'm trapping raccoons for people in their attics and this and that. So I was doing kind of both. And I actually wanted to quit my full-time job and do that full-time. But at the time, I was making real good money working at a steel mill, and the wife wouldn't let me quit my $70,000, $80,000 a year. I was going to quit it all just to try to, you know, work for myself full-time. But anyway, long story short, got laid off the steel mill, got back into the wildlife stuff more, and just ended up going to work for somebody that, you know, that good people to work for it, and, you know, let them take care of all the overhead and all that. I just go to work every day.
So you turned an outdoor passion of yours into a livelihood.
Yeah, I mean, this job is just second nature to me. I mean, it is work now when we got to do the repairs and preventions. You know, we have to climb steep roofs. We get animals out of chimneys. You know, we have to have scaffolds sometimes, lifts, climbing gear. I mean, it's not every day we just ride around in a truck all day and just, you know, that stuff like you see on TV, like Billy the Exterminator or whatever, and Turtle Man, that's all for show. It's not like that at all. Every now and then we do have some live action. Like about a week ago, we got a call. This person had a skunk in their garage. It was stuck in behind their freezer, which the other tech ended up going out there. It was in more of his area. But I've had to do stuff like that where you got to manually remove an animal, you know. So you get some live action every now and then.
Was that RT?
What is the craziest story that you've had on something in the attic or just at work trapping?
Well, I'm trying to think. Probably getting a snake out of a toilet was one of the
How in the world
weirdest
does
things.
this, how'd it get in there?
Well, what we figured out was, you know, most homes have those plumbing, I call them soil vent stacks, those PVC tops. The snake got down in that, and that's like a bathroom or a toilet vent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when it was just a rat snake. You know, we call them chicken snakes here, but its head was sticking out of the toilet bowl.
Oh, Lord.
And I just grabbed it. And, you know, that thing was probably about 6 foot coming out of that, you know. But that was a crazy
That'll
call.
get you.
I'd had to move.
It's time to move.
How did they discover it?
I think the lady went in the bathroom and seen it sticking its head out of
Okay,
the
I'll
toilet.
make sure nobody.
Yeah, that'd been bad. But you know, it's a growing demand, the wildlife control industry. There's not a lot of people around here that does it. When I was doing it, you know, Donnie Jones, he used to do it a lot, and he retired, and he started giving me a lot of calls.
Yeah.
And but you know, but I guess that's how I got into doing it. You know, because like when we do a lot of commercial beaver jobs, and so there's a big difference when you're doing it for a client than just out fur trapping. It's a big difference. You know, the pressure's on when you're charging somebody. You got to know what you're doing. And you know, the mind staff for me when I go out on a beaver job is to get all the beaver. We got to get all the problem beaver. You know, we've had people say, "Well, I got a fur trapper that's going to come in here this winter." You know, well, fur trapper, you know, they can catch a few beaver. If they're not catching anything, no big deal. They'll go to another farm or somewhere else. But when we're hired to go into this property, you know, our job is we have to get all the beaver, and that's what we do.
Now, do y'all just do trapping, or have y'all done tannerite and stuff like that on beaver dams?
No. Well, when you do it commercially, what I was told, you have to have an explosive license and all that if you're doing it.
That's why I didn't know if y'all done that too.
'Cause there was a bottom we did up in Hickman, Kentucky, that was way off in there, and no way to get a track hole, nothing to it, and then the dams need to be removed. And I thought a tannerite, that would be pretty cool, but we're not allowed a tannerite if we're doing it commercially, so we just have to do it the old-fashioned way with the potato rake and
Oh, gosh.
mattets and shovels and all that.
I can remember one time, and you may remember this while it was right back over here, where they were blowing up that beaver dam that was in the elbow. And back then they had dynamite. You remember this? I remember sitting there, and it was a long ways off. And they blew it up. And the next thing you know, here comes a bunch of sticks and mud, and we had to hit the ground. That's kind of, I think they over-powdered, or over-egged the pudding, so to speak.
You remember that, Wally?
Yeah, I thought it was a stump though, or when they was clearing the river channel.
Nah, well,
But it was around the elbow. Both of those was there too.
well, there was an
And there was a
explosion.
lot of stuff. Was it Uncle Charles over it?
Yeah, and I think,
Remember they had that stuff? We mixed that diesel fuel looking stuff
Yeah.
in it.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, that's what it was. They put, I mean, back then you could
Yeah.
go and buy that stuff. But anyway, that's barely been 50 years ago.
Beavers very easy to catch, but they're one of the hardest animals to catch if you ever make them trap shot.
Oh, really?
Yes, you will lose sleep. When I first got into it, I was charging by the beaver. So nowadays, most people, like what we do, we charge a flat rate at so many days to be in there to trap the beaver, depending on the property size and all that. But when I was doing it for myself, I was charging by the beaver. And what I did was I charged a $250 setup fee to set the property up. And I wanted that up front because that went toward my gas and stuff. And then I charged $100 a beaver. I had some people say, well, man, I might have 20 beaver in there. And I said, yeah, you may only have 2.
Yeah.
But what I learned through time is, when you do it by the beaver, so I caught most time beavers in a family colony of 6. It's not always 6. Sometimes it's less. I've never seen more than that unless there was different territorial colonies staying in one area, because beaver are very territorial. But there was a colony of beaver in there. I'm guessing 6 beaver, which it was, and I caught 5 of them. So the dad beaver, I guess you want to say, the male, he got smart. He was seeing all of his wife and all the kids getting popped, and this and that. And then, man, he went into hiding. And this is like this beaver left. So sometimes I think beaver will leave. This was on the Forkadoo River down in Findlay, and there was a drainage ditch that I was trapping that they kept damming up. And they had beans underwater and stuff. So I got the water down, and they kept patching it every night. But what we have to do sometimes, if a beaver has so much water on us, we have to get the water to our advantage. Then once we get the water to our advantage, we'll let them stop it back up, and then we'll go in there and start setting traps. And so that's what I did. And I caught 5, and I was like, well, maybe this is only the last one. But I was like, no, I've only caught 1 adult. There's got to be another adult in here. So anyway, what I did, what most people do is I busted the dam and I set a trap in front of the dam break. And so I used a large foothold trap. It's on a drowning cable. You have a weight at the end in the deep water, so when the beaver gets caught in the trap, naturally he hits the deep water. So there's a little slide on that trap, on that cable that goes down, that lets the beaver go all the way to where I got it anchored, but then it won't let him come back up. He drowns. So how you know that is you'll go and look, oh, my trap's missing, and you pull the cable up, there should be a beaver on the end of it. Well, I go that next morning thinking I got this beaver. So before I set the trap, let me go back. So I broke the dam, and then I come back the next morning, it was patched. I said, and I still use that method today. That lets me know there's another beaver in there. And so I set a trap in front of it, said, I got him. Well, I come back the next morning, trap was missing. I said, here we go. So I grabbed the cable, I go pulling it up, and guess what was on it?
What?
Big old coon.
You call it Coon.
So beaver dams, when I learned this a long time ago, when a beaver dam is going across a joint, every animal, deer, bobcat,
The highway.
everything will use that beaver dam. So what I did was I moved my trap a little back further, from the break, reset it, and let me get back. The dam was patched, but my trap was missing. But I had a coon, so the coon got caught before, and then the beaver come on. Let me patch this, and then he went on about his night or whatever. I redo it all. Come back the next day, trap's missing, dam is patched. I'm like, well, let me pull it up, missed trap. and what nothing on the trap was set off. And I was like, well, I mean, sometimes you'll have fish set them off, a crane comes down in there, tips the edge of it. You just never know. So what I did is I took a trail camera and I put on this dam brake. I busted the dam again. I know the beaver passed it back. Well, this time I went and got another trap, so I had a double foot hose at this dam brake. Beaver comes in there on camera. He gets caught and he hits the water. So I didn't know this till I go the next day, because I had the old card camera then where I had kept a laptop in the truck. I could read
You had
it.
to go check it manually.
Well, I get there and the dam is still flowing through, and I get down and the trap's missing. So if the dam is still flowing through and the trap's missing, that's supposed to be good news, right? And this is before I looked at my card. And so I pull the trap, and there's a beaver toe in the trap.
Huh.
And I was like, are you kidding me? So I looked at the footage, and it was a big beaver. Well, anyway, this is when this last male beaver gave me a fit. He went into hiding, so I busted a big hole. I said, I'm going to drain this water. He's going to have to come patch it. Well, I was checking this dam every day. He wasn't patching it. The water fell so more that it wasn't going to just flow anymore. Mm-hmm. So when you drop all that water, these are bank den beaver in these bottoms, meaning they, tunnel up in the banks. Hardly ever in these bottoms you'll see them build the lodges and sticks like you do up north. I do see it sometimes, but not as much. But so I walked down that long ditch, and every bank den, the water fell out of it. And you can see if beaver's going in, there's no tracks or nothing. They say once water leaves the tunnel, the beaver don't use that anymore. Because for safety, they like to go underwater, and then they live up in the dry in that tunnel. So I find one tunnel at the very end that still had water in it, and I could hear him in that lodge. Well, I put a 330 conibear bear trap right in front of that lodge, and come back the next morning, the beaver dug out around that trap. So where he was digging out, I mounted a foot trap right there in that, and all that. I go back the next day, the foot trap's gone. I pull that trap up, and I got another beaver toe on it. So this beaver,
you're catching him part at a time.
I'm catching him part
One piece at a time.
So the guy that I was working for, he's like, hey, Johnny, we caught that beaver yet? I said, no, sir, I'm trying. I said, man, he's giving me the runaround, but I'm going to get him. And well, anyway, so long story short, I about forget it. I mean, I didn't know what else to do, because he wasn't coming back to fix the dam. I mean, he wasn't doing, it's just like he wasn't even coming out at all. He was staying held up in this thing. So I thought about trying to smoke him out, in the den and this and that. And the guy I work for now, I was talking to him about it. He's like, well, what you need to do is you need to pull all your traps. He said, beaver can smell your scent. A lot of people don't know that, but they can. He said, you just need to pull all your traps, stay out of that area for about 2 weeks. He'll go back, and he said, bust the dam before you last leave. And if that dam is fixed, he's kind of gotten back into his normal routine. So that's what I did. I go back about 2 weeks later, the dam is fixed. I put a trail camera on it, and I busted the dam, and I didn't put a trap or nothing. I got that beaver coming on camera. He got up on the bank and walked on top of the dam, and he's sitting on the dam fixing it. And because he wouldn't go in front of it, a front approach, when I first caught him in the foot. So I thought real hard what to do. I was like, only thing I know to do is put a foot trap in the dam. I said, hopefully a coon won't come across this dam, set my trap off and this and that. Put the camera back out, made me a little bow inside the dam, buried that foothold right there, kind of covered it up with some light leaves, broke the dam. Come back the next morning. I was about praying that night I got this beaver, because I'm still working full time and I'm still doing this as a side thing. I was tired trying to catch the last beaver. But anyway, I come down there that next morning and I pull up and I get out, because I can drive right down this ditch down a turn road. And I get out and the water's flowing through still. I said, either I got him or a coon or something. I go on down the bank. When I put my boots on, the trap's missing. I look at the camera. I was like, nope, I'm just going to see what I got. I start pulling that cable and I see a flat tail come up out of the water. And I got it side. It had a big beaver. And first thing I did, I grabbed his feet and looked. He had 2 toes missing.
I can remember we would, those old little slap traps back in the 70s. There'd be times where you'd find a leg. And then I remember one time they caught a beaver that had three legs. Yeah. That right there.
Moral of that story is don't give up.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that beaver really taught me a lot, how they can, how smart they can be if you make them smart. But so when I got that beaver out there, I called the farmer and told him about it. And anyway, I busted the dam out real big, as wide as I could. I went and checked on it a few days later, still flowing. And because we caught some rain when I pulled out through that time, and they never fixed it back. Luckily, he hasn't never had an issue with those beaver anymore.
Well, beavers come back. Let's say you kill them out. Will other beavers come back?
Well, every 2 years you have a dispersal period in beaver. So like say you have mom, dad, and this spring. So this spring's litter. When they become last spring when they become 2 years old, they get kicked out of the colony. So you have those 2-year-olds that go off, and that's especially when backwaters get up. Those beaver will travel the Sobine River and they go up these ditches, and that's when you'll have beaver getting places where you've never had an issue before. A lot of times it's young beaver migrating out. Sometimes it's older beaver. They say they mate for life, but every 2 years they get kicked out of the colony, and that's when they go and you have that dispersal period.
Beavers impress me.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
they're smart.
They're nature's engineers for sure. One time I was doing a beaver job down at Tiger Tail Farms down there, and they was building it back so much before they called me. He called me and said, Johnny, he said, I need you to just tell me what get these beavers. Cost me more than diesel to haul this thing down and clean the dam out. He said, you probably could have done caught them by now. And we went down there. He left a track hole bucket sitting in front of the culvert, and they built a dam levee all around his track hole bucket that night that he left it there.
Well, they reuse the sticks that they've cut.
Sometimes, yeah. Yep. But
We've had them put dead beaver bodies in there. We've had them putting them on smoke pots, set one of them on there, and they'll put it out and put it in the dam.
yeah,
We've had them do everything.
probably the nastiest beaver job I ever did was for Nike in Memphis. They got a 3 million square foot factory, and they've all chain linked off back in there. And they got a big ditch that flows through their property, and the maintenance guy, they had 14 dams in this one ditch. And this is where a lot of the city water runs in and this and that, and I ain't going to tell you what all I seen in that ditch, but I didn't want to stick my hands in the water to set traps. But we caught several beaver out of that ditch for Nike, and then that was a real good job, but we lost it to another company. They got a cheaper bid on it, I guess you could say, or we got outbid on it, however you say.
Hey, if you were, let's say I bought a farm and I wanted to hold water to hunt ducks, and I had beavers on there that had built beaver dams, do you think the smart place to build my water structure is where they put their dams?
Could be, yeah.
I mean, do they kind of know what they're doing?
Oh, for sure they know what they're doing. I've seen beaver in these hills in Minnick take a little old trickle of a spring in a dry holler and turn it into a 4-acre lake.
Wow.
The bad thing about beaver in these bottoms is, the duck hunters, they like the beaver at a certain, because they uphold the water, but eventually if you don't get that water out there, it's going to kill your timber. And I see that a lot with beaver. I mean, beaver is North America's largest rodent. Do you know that? And you can look it up, but they cost probably billions, if not millions of dollars of tree damage, erosion, all that stuff. So
Do y'all skin them?
no, when we do it for business, we're not allowed to do anything with the hide, the carcass, or anything. We just have to dispose of the carcass.
Have you ever trapped nutria?
I've caught a nutria fur trapping one time off down close to the Mississippi River here.
There's a world of them at Reelfoot now.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
People eat them too. I've seen videos.
They say they're a delicacy in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I've been duck hunting with people before, and they open the door of the blind and said, there's a beaver. I said, shoot it. And they'll say, no, he's so cute. I said, okay, you'll regret that. Then they stop up all their pipes, and they never get another shot at them.
Yeah.
I said, I told you you'd regret it. They will wear you out if you ever give them a chance.
We're doing quite a bit of beaver work right now. We get most of our beaver calls will be before planting season. After duck season, a lot of duck holes will trap where they're trying to drain the water to plant for either duck crop or bean, whatever, and then we got to go in there and catch the beaver so they can get it dry to plant. And we get a lot of summer calls with beaver where they're early beans, they're flooding, early beans and things like that. But they're a mess when they get in a spot. It's neat how a beaver can create its own ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it's actually a benefit for all wildlife. But at the same time, they just don't realize the damage that they create.
Yeah.
They probably don't care, really.
No.
I got a question. Now, we've got some critter that'll stop up our culverts, but it's not with sticks and things. It's more with mud and leaves. Could that be a beaver, or is that something else?
Like a big beaver, mud and leaves.
Is there anything else that does it?
I don't think. I I would say beaver is the main thing that holds water, stops for water. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just saying my experience being out there and stuff, I'd say beaver every time.
It seems like they go and get loads of grass.
Yeah.
I mean, and just dump it. I don't know how
Yeah.
to do it.
There's a beaver job I'm doing right now up in Murray, Kentucky, where the beaver, it's just a spring-fed creek. It's in hill ground. There's some little flat cornfields on each side, and they've got a dam going all the way across the creek, and 90% of that dam is corn stalks, where they'll go in there and cut the corn, and they're using the corn stalks to build the dam.
How tall and long is the biggest beaver dam you've ever seen?
Probably 20 foot long, probably 5 foot tall. And that's an old dam. That's being rebuilt over and over usually.
John Clore's got one down there on their farm in Moss Island. That sucker's about 5 foot tall. I don't know. It's hundreds of foot long.
Wow.
Is it true that
That's
it's
what holds all that water coming out of Moss Island that goes on to Clore's Dem's place?
Yeah.
There was just a huge beaver dam.
Well, I've seen where they'll build levees all in the woods. But talking about just like an actual dam, about 20 foot long. But I have seen where it's amazing. I've seen where they build levee systems way off up on Reelfoot WMA, right there where Walnut Law Baptist Church is. I used to coon hunt that a lot, and it's getting every year. I'm thinking about going there and trapping the beaver because they're levying all that off in there. It's your dogs are getting there and get treed every time, and you just about got to swim to get to them if you get in there. And nobody's doing anything about the beaver, but I mean they're killing that timber in there.
There's a bunch of them in Taggart Bottoms.
Ortiz, do you have a question?
Yeah, is it true about beaver and the sound of running water?
I don't know. Did you see on Duck Dynasty where they put a radio with a running water and they sat there forever thinking the beaver would come out there and it never did?
I'm glad you told us that. Johnny would probably try it.
Ortiz done got the video. The audio. We just got to get a time.
That was funny.
John, let's move on. Johnny, you have a YouTube channel. Tell us what it is.
It's 731 Outdoors. Been doing it a little over a year. I have fun doing it. I mainly do coon hunting videos. I like filming the dogs, and I just keep it real. I don't hardly edit anything out. If they tree a slick tree, it's going to be on that video. I just keep it real when I'm out there. I like showing the coons being harvested on video. Just having fun with it. I've done a catfishing video on there when we run some limb lines, me and my wife at Reelfoot Lake. I got some turkey hunting footage from this past spring. I ain't got together. May do some turkey hunts on there. I would love to self-film some deer hunts, all that stuff, but coon hunting's my main thing on my channel I like doing. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. I think right now I'm at about 1,400 subscribers.
Dang. You couldn't share some in with us, could you?
Yeah.
I think we're about 7 or 8, 9.
Well, no, I didn't know.
Hey, anybody out there share with us something because we need something.
Yeah.
So 731 Outdoors.
Yes, sir.
It's
all one word.
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's got if you click on it, it's a profile picture of me and my black and tan hound. But so what I started doing this past winter was what I call coon hunting with local legends. It's just a little series I've done 3 episodes.
I wondered why he'd been calling me.
Yeah.
So around here in West Tennessee, we've got some old guys that's just how you say it. I'll forget whatever how you know what I'm trying to say. They know more than they'll forget more than I'll ever know. Mm-hmm. There we go. And some of them still hunting, some of them's passed on, but I mean, there's a lot of guys I've been wanting to get an interview, just talk about when they started coon hunting and just go hunting with them if they're still hunting and film their dogs. I don't take a dog, I just go with them and film their dogs. I've done 3 episodes, and one video's got about 21,000 views, and I don't think that's bad for coon hunting.
No,
I don't think that's
make
bad
a video,
for anything.
make a short clip on there and say, "Hey, go follow the Bogota Boys."
Yeah.
Well, I think, are you going to film some of the youth hunt?
Yes,
Maybe upload some of that.
I'm gonna. So if you see a guy walking around with a smartphone, because I do all my filming with my iPhone, I ain't got all the fancy.
Well,
cameras,
some of these other guys that's going to be on some of the other groups could maybe do some filming. Y'all could get together and
I'm gonna
edit
do
a long video.
I think that's pretty neat, taking the old guys
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure you can learn.
I wished you'd have done it a long time ago for Mr.
Yeah.
Joe and all them passed
oh yeah,
away.
yeah. I wish I was doing a YouTube. Joe Smith would definitely been one I'd love to done.
Yeah.
But the first one I did was who was my first one with? I can't even think right now. Well, let's see. Joe, you got me thinking about Joe. First one I did was with Gerald Craddock
Mr. Gerald.
and John Sawyers. Gerald Craddock, he's passed now, but we got to do that video before he passed. He was
Yeah.
feeling a little bit better health. Gerald was probably, how old, Bubba, 80?
Yeah, he was in his early 80s, I believe.
And he was still coon hunting about every night.
Yeah.
And he knew Reelfoot Lake, Walnut Log, Grassy, all that like the back of his hand. And that's where he just, I guess, grew up hunting all that. And so John Sawyers was a good friend of mine. He was Gerald's coon hunting buddy. And they wanted to do it together. So I sat down with them in John's shop, and we, did an interview with Mr. Gerald and how he got started coon hunting and competition hunting, stuff like that. And then kind of got to talk over, and we went to the woods and went hunting. And we had a good hunt that night. We caught 2 coons that night with his dogs, had a real good video. And it probably just, I don't know, I think that was in, I want to say late December when we did that video. He passed this past spring.
Yeah, he passed, yeah.
So, that's something his family can look at.
Oh, absolutely. That's wonderful.
And then I did one with Murray Reagan and Randy Thielen. They're out of Jackson, Tennessee. Been doing it a long time. Older guys as well. Got some real good English hounds, and did a interview and hunt with them. They turned out real good, and all the ones I've done has turned out really good. And I tell the people that I asked to do it, if we have a bad night, I ain't got to, we can have another hunt and we got a good hunt. We ain't got to put the bad night on there, because coon hunting's like any hunting. You're going to have good nights, you're going to have bad nights. Dogs are like humans. They might not be feeling that well that night. They're going to have bad nights and have good nights as well. But anyway, like I said, my YouTube is it's just going to go where it's going to go. I mean, I doubt I'm ever going to be able to do YouTube for a living, but I just enjoy, getting out there and filming my dogs and buddies' dogs and doing the local legend series that I'm doing. And I've got some lined up for this year that I think is going to be really good.
Well, that's wonderful. 731 Outdoors, all of you listeners, all 7 of you, I'll go and look at Mr. Copeland's on YouTube, and I think I'm going to look at it tonight. Well, does anyone have any other questions of our guest?
No, but we could start a series, Legends in Our Own Minds.
Yeah, you started that, Wally, about 50 some odd years ago, I think. But we could film that. Yeah,
I've always heard Wally was a duck hunting legend in Bogota.
yeah.
In our own minds.
You heard that from Wally.
From Wally.
Right? Hey, has he told you about his trophy?
Oh, we hadn't even mentioned that, have we?
Yeah, we did. Well, don't worry. If he hadn't told you yet, he will. RT, you got any other questions?
No.
Johnny? How about you, Wyatt?
No, I've enjoyed listening to it.
Wally,
Maybe we can hunt sometime soon.
Oh,
Wally,
yeah.
you got any questions?
I'm excited about going on
I am too.
coon hunt, actually.
Bubba.
What's up?
You got any questions?
No, me and Johnny have shot the bull for many years.
I'm going to say,
I think he tutored you.
Shot the bull.
Johnny is the modern day Davy Crockett of this area. He does it all, and it does it very well. He really does.
well, 731 Outdoors, we're going to go and look at that.
Appreciate it.
Wally remembers this. It was always a Christmas Eve story our dad told. He went hunting, coon hunting one time. He went with Mr. Emmett Garner, who was Nub's daddy. And it was always when the weather came on and they had the record low for that day, and it was like minus something.
1963, minus 13.
Minus 13. He said, I almost froze to death and never went coon hunting again.
And Sunfair got pneumonia and about died.
Well, yeah.
We heard that our whole life.
You remember Nub?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, we heard that every Christmas Eve, even up to the last Christmas Eve.
If Noah was still around now, I'd love to do a
Yeah, he'd have been a
video.
good
He
one
would have
too.
been a good one.
Yeah.
Heck, Butch would be a good one.
Yeah, Butch Kenner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be.
Well, all of you all our listeners go to 731 Outdoors. Look at Johnny's YouTube series. I think it's wonderful what he's doing. Thank you for being our guest. I've learned
Thank
a lot
y'all, all y'all
about
for having me.
coon hunting and about beaver trapping, and I knew beavers were pretty smart, but I didn't know.
Oh, Tony, that's the nicest thing you've ever said.
No, I
about
didn't
me.
say white beavers. I said a beaver. singular.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go back.
He's not singular anymore.
Most
He
are,
will be again.
most
No, I won't.
most beavers are pretty smart. Then you got the white variety. I'm not so sure about that. Well, Wally, we're gonna close out here. Wally, you gonna lead us in a prayer?
Yep. Let's don't forget the youth coon hunt November 15th, 5:30 at the Lone Limit. Of course, we're always promoting our youth duck hunt banquet January 31st. 5:30, 6 o'clock. There's been some arguments, but show up. Bubba will be here. He's got many tales to tell, so he'll keep you entertained.
Bogota Community Center, right? That's
Bogota
okay?
Community Center, we're having that in. Maybe the youth coon hunt will get so big we have to have it in the community center.
That'd be nice.
So
Yeah.
both of those events are free.
100%.
Doesn't
Oh,
cost
yeah.
you anything.
And there'll be food
Yeah.
provided at them. And what was the other youth duck hunting event?
Oh, it's
You remember the details of it?
St. Jude
Crockett
Hunt
County?
in Crockett County?
Was it Crockett County?
Yeah, it was the.
JNS, we'll find it.
JNS Migrators is having the youth hunt. It's in Dyer County, but they want 20 kids that have been through St. Jude or fought cancer or have a disability.
How was it you contacted them?
Facebook, JNS Migrators on Facebook. Yeah.
They want 20 kids, and we'd really love to help them. I mean, we hope they get their 20 kids, because that'd be something special.
Yeah,
That's going to be
for
something.
sure.
They're going to have a hunt at some particular point in time. But
Oh, it's the youth
No, it's
hunt.
the
It's
same-
the same
day.
Saturday.
is it going to be the first Saturday or the second?
Yeah, and
First.
they're going to carry them all, lodge them, from what
Yep.
I've read, feed them,
Yeah.
take 100% care of them.
They're going to baby
Yeah.
them well.
We'll go to JNS Migrators Facebook page. Also go to the Bogota Boys Facebook page. And if you like this episode, please share it. We'd like to at least get above double digits in listeners at some point in
Our
time.
goal is to get to 10 listeners by duck season.
Haley made 9, so we got to get one more.
Yeah, but she's going to.
We're going to lose her eventually.
Now, I think she'll stay on just to listen to us.
Make fun of Whitey.
Yeah, well, that's so easy. Well, this is the Bogota Boys. Wally, you going to say a prayer?
Yeah, let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together again for another good episode. Please help us to do right and be strong Christians every day. We support the hunts that's coming on and give us safety in those. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey,
Let's-
remember to get out and vote.
Yes.
No matter who you vote for, get out and vote. We might be a little partial one way, but still get out and vote.
Exercise your right. Absolutely. Well, this is the Bogota Boys. We've been broadcasting from No Limit Cafe in downtown Bogota, Tennessee, the duck hunting capital of the world. Until we talk again.